What is up, you guys? Good to see you here on the Mr. Dig channel. So me and Aaron are still down here in beautiful Hockley, Texas at the Kobelco Ranch checking out, I don't even know how many excavators they got out here right now, but right now we're going to check out the SK380. We got our buddy Mr. Michael, who knows every Kobelco out here like the back of his hand.
I wish.
You do.
I have an app for that, though.
There's an app for everything now.
For everything, yes. As we get older, you know, our phones become, you know, a part of it.
They do.
You know,
unfortunately, they do, and I know it all too well.
In the old days, you used to know the spec sheets and you'd spend time memorizing all that. Now,
just pull the phone out.
There's an app.
There's an app for that.
There you go.
Well, let's take a look at this 380 here, Mr.
Right.
Michael.
All right, well, the SK380 is a short radius machine, okay? It's not a true zero tail swing. Right. She's a short radius. She does have a little bit of counterweight overhang when she spins sideways, okay?
So good for compact situations.
So right now, this one's got a 2.38, 2.4 yard cubic bucket on it.
Okay.
The 380 is really, when you get down to the nuts and bolts of it, is a short radius 30-ton machine.
All right.
Okay. Now your 30-ton machines, are pipe layers. They're utility machines. But as times have changed, short radius machines have come in and they're replacing your conventional tail swing machines. So the 380 is a short radius 30-ton machine. So it'll take all your attachments that you put on an SK300.
Yep.
We'll hook up to this machine.
Okay.
And be fine with it. Okay.
Gotcha.
So you're going to see real close lift charts on that. People want to think because she's an 85,000 pound machine that and it's a 380. Oh, that's a 35-ton. No. Sitting over there, that's a 35-ton machine.
Okay, yeah.
All right. It has a conventional counterweight on it, has a way different lift chart than this does. This is a short radius.
Yeah, because look how much you know rear end you got hanging off of that machine.
That's right.
And since this one's made to go in compact areas, you're not going to have that same lifting capacity, right?
It is, you know, and typically we would think of a short radius machine as a utility machine. You're going to see it on the side of the interstate, on the side of the road. You're going to see it because it'll take up one lane of traffic.
Gotcha.
It'll swing within that lane of traffic. But we're seeing last year we sold one into land clearing application where he's running a dangle head saw off of it. You know, and so you see these different applications where they're liking that short radius. It's a whole different application when you move it into something that's typically a conventional tail swing machine's territory, like land clearing and stuff. So
I could see where it'd be incredibly beneficial in land clearing. I mean, because you're swinging around all the time, you're down amongst the trees and bending your machine up. So I could definitely see its application in the woods. Yeah,
being an old guy though, you know, those of us in those traditional conventional tail swing applications, you get kind of drawled up over stuff. He absolutely loves the machine in that. So you know, a few years ago, the short radius right there, that is a 27-ton. We had a pipeliner that's laying out west. Well, I guess we are out in Texas, but he was in Oklahoma. He was laying pipe, and he had been using SK260s to lay pipe, but his guys were always swinging into stuff. And so just being a smart aleck that I am, I said, you need to put them in a 270 so they can't swing the back end or anything. And he looked at me, he says, send me one. And I did, and they swapped their whole crew over to short radius 27-ton machines.
I mean,
so you know, it's we try to keyhole them in and say, oh, these are just utility machines, but they are, depending on the operator that you put in the seat, they're whatever you want to use them for. They are very utilitarian, and you have less sticking out over the counterweight. Those rear doors are not going to get bent up that way.
Man, that is my pet peeve.
You know, I hate a scratched up counterweight.
I can't. Drives me nuts.
But you know, typical DNA of a Kobelco, you've got the good strong H-link, the redesign of your dog bones and everything comes with the Kobelco. We're still we do not like changing, so we still run our rock guards on our stick. That's to protect this. The old days before thumbs became a real big thing.
Yep.
You know, in the old days we would curl the debris, the rock, the log, or whatever.
Oh yeah, up against the stick.
Competitors' machines, this would always get caved in, and you'd have to weld and patch and do anything. And so Kobelco had just started putting the rock guard on it. Okay. And we still do that today, even though you have to cut this off to put a thumb on. But for those that don't run a thumb, they're just running a coupler or running
that's
a
perfect. Yeah.
thumb.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's extra reinforcement to protect your investment.
Oh yeah.
You know, because that's what we're looking at. Every time you buy one of our machines, it's an investment. You know, and we want to make it last as long as we possibly can.
Yeah. Because we in our concrete recycling area, man, that would be ideal.
Yes.
Because we're all the time, you know, you're trying to hog as much concrete as you can. You just use that stick as almost like a thumb.
It does.
And we have beat the crap out of it. So
yeah, and so I mean, you'll see lots of times they'll be caved in right here above the pinballs.
Yeah.
Because that's cast. So that part's not going to bend, but you'll see this metal part here will bend, and so we put the rock guards on there. That's still part of the Kobelco DNA.
Right, standard.
So she's a short radius.
I like it.
Kobelco's the one that created the short radiuses back 20 some odd years ago.
Yeah.
You know, we looked at everybody looked at us like,
what are you doing?
What are you doing with the squatty body?
Yeah.
You know, it has a purpose.
It absolutely has a purpose.
You get into I've got a couple of contractors that are doing demolition with them.
Okay.
That absolutely love them because a demo site is a cluster.
It's tight.
And you've got concrete, and you've got steel sticking up, and you've got all that stuff that just wants to reach out.
Buildings right next to you.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
traffic.
That you're not destroying.
Yeah. You're not supposed to be destroying.
Not supposed to be destroying. So yeah. So you know, but you can see the profile of the 380. This is a big girl.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you can just see that she is a big girl. She's a big short radius, big chunk of cast iron on the back. But even though she's a big girl, she's still serviceable. Still has that. You still see that she has the track guides on there. Standard. That's Kobelco DNA. Still has the extended steps.
Yep.
Replaceable. So if you bend them up, just pull 2 bolts out and put a new one on. Okay. Replaceable. So, but you can see serviceability. So we open up the this. You've got a lot of serviceability. It's a short radius machine. From a mechanic standpoint, those are hard to work on.
Yeah.
Okay. But Kobelco did a great job of making stuff serviceable,
accessible.
Yes, it's accessible, so you can get in there and do that. You know.
Thank goodness, because engineers and field workers sometimes don't think along the same lines.
Yes, yes.
But it's nice when engineers, you know, listen to the field guys and say, hey, let's make this easier and more efficient for our folks to work on.
Right. And so that is key. So you've got your depth tank. You've got a nice set of steps to climb up there to get to the engine compartment. Yeah. Because again, you can't check the oil on the ground.
Nope. She's taller.
She's tall.
Had to pack all that weight into a more vertical.
That's right.
Vertical body.
You know, so, but coming around the now, you know, on the 520, we talked about the fact that the pumps were on the cab side.
Right.
So when you look at this machine, so you can see this is a traditional design machine. All right, and so you can see this machine is sitting in there with the traditional engine mount. You get your traditional stack pumps with your pilot pump sticking out there. The filters, if you're a taller person, you ground level service. Yeah. You can touch them.
And I certainly ain't tall, but I mean I can reach those.
Yeah. So I mean that's key. Ground level service, keeping you on the ground. Makes our OSHA people very happy.
I'm sure.
There you go. You know, safety people like them high. So you've got your fuel water separator that's down in there. You know, lots of room between this bottom belly pan and your hydraulic. Your main suction line coming off your hydraulic tank and stuff,
which is good.
Another Kobelco DNA, because you know we're out in the, I was out in the swamps, chasing beavers and stuff with mine. You'd pull up a root ball, you'd pull up, and it would bend that pan. You know, you're always worried about knocking that line off the bottom of the pump, and trashing a set of pumps. Well, Kobelco does a good job of putting a lot of room,
giving you some clearance,
in there, so that you get.
Because stuff's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Stuff's gonna happen.
Hey, Murphy lives with me.
Yeah. Murphy's Law.
Murphy's my best friend. Okay. So you come around to the back again. You can see the still has the 3 panels, even though it's a short radius machine. It's a big bottom.
It is.
Still has swing flashers. They're incorporated into your doors, just like all of our machines. Still talking about it. Still looking at safety. Safety's key. Lots of lights.
That is a heck of a counterweight on it, ain't it?
It is a big counterweight.
Wow.
Cooling pack. Now, unlike all the rest of the Kobelco short radiuses, you'll notice this one doesn't have the blue INDR sticker on it. Okay, you walk over to the 270, you go to the 140, ED 160. All the rest of them are short radius machines have INDR on it. That's integrated noise and dust reduction system. It's a patented Kobelco system with a pleated filter or screen that protects your cooling pack.
Okay, I didn't know that.
But it also reduces the amount of air that comes across.
Okay.
And so the 380, because of this big counterweight, we can't get enough air. So this is the only short radius we have that does not have the INDR system.
Okay.
So so she doesn't have INDR, but she's got a great set of cooling pack. This machine has been a great performer.
Has it?
A lot of times, some of our competitors have heating problems with their short radius.
Yeah.
You know, we do not.
I mean, look how much stuff you got packed into a very compact engine compartment. You know, I mean,
it's an engineering marvel. It really is. I mean, really to pack that much stuff, you're packing all the stuff that's crammed into that area into this.
Yeah.
You know, you're thinking about it from a mechanical standpoint. That's pretty awe-inspiring.
That's
right?
pretty awesome.
So, you know, but you've got the so you've got a great cooling pack, the your breather, the air filter, the your main machine cutoff. All that is sitting here. And look, engineers, they put a grab handle on there for us, you know, so you can get that 3-point safety when you're climbing up on the machine to get up in there, right?
It's the little things.
It's
Michael.
the little things. You know, you got to point that stuff out. So, but yeah, you can see there's your other camera, another light. So you can do that.
So this one has 270 degrees?
270 degrees of camera. That's the pretty much the standard Kobelco at this time. So
Gotcha.
on this generation. So.
Yeah, very cool.
And this is the when we were on the 520, that was a -11. That was the 11th generation of conventional tail swing machines. Because short radiuses didn't come along at the same time. They weren't developed until later. This is the 7th generation.
Okay, interesting.
Radius.
All right.
So when you hear it, depending if you're talking to Jeff, a lot of time he'll refer to them as Mark 7s, Mark 11s, whatever. Because in the old days, if you look at the old Kobelco, it'll have a Mark 4, Mark 5, Mark 6, or whatever on the side.
That was a generation.
It was a generation. Today we just call them dash.
Gotcha.
So, okay. All right, and so here we've got the toolbox, because the Kobelco, we still believe you're gonna carry teeth.
Yeah.
You're gonna keep a tooth in there. You lose a tooth, you got to protect that shank. You got to protect that bucket, that investment there. But grease guns, grease, chains, whatever. You know, it's that is a very important.
That's handy.
Place. Yeah, it is. And it's right here. It latches down so that even if you don't lock it, it stays latched when you're bouncing around on the job site. Now, when you get to the cab. The cab has the cabs are your same basic design. Okay. We run the same cab design all the way from that little 85 that Aaron is
practicing. He's cheating.
That's right. He's cheating. He's practicing.
Yeah, he is cheating. So, I'm glad I got that on camera. So now everybody knows I'm not lying.
Did you get the RPMs? He didn't have it wound up either.
Okay.
Hydraulic excavator.
Hey, you can give me some tips.
Yeah. The hydraulic excavator to smooth, you got to have it wide open.
All right.
Right? So the old school, we would cheat it down.
Yeah.
You know, but no, we just change modes nowadays. So the ground level service hour meter, which to your typical end users probably not that key, but we have rental customers that are some of our big customer bases, right? And so Company Wrench is one of our large dealers. They have a huge rental fleet. Your rental managers need to be able to walk out and see that.
And just easily see your.
Yeah, it went away a few generations ago.
Yeah.
I guess cost savings.
Right.
And there was a lot of kickback about it.
Sure.
You know, and you don't think about stuff like that. But
you don't. But when you're the one that's got to go climb out and a dozen or so machines.
It's above my head.
Yeah.
You know. So in order to climb up in there to look on the dash, I have to physically climb up to the machine. Yeah. You know, if I'm gonna do 10, 20 machines. Yeah. That's a lot of climbing.
It's gonna take some time.
That's right. It's rough on my knees, right? So anyways, but your cab layout is the same. Now you'll notice this one is set up in dirt configuration. It does not have the cab guard on the front because that is an option. Yep. But it still has the level 2 fops on it, which you can see somebody has tossed mud.
They sure have.
All the way up there. Okay. And so that's the one thing about having a demonstration yard. Yep. Not everybody that comes out here is an operator. Yeah. There's some stick pullers that come out here and they have managed to fling mud on top of the cab. So
that's a first.
That's a first.
All right. But it goes to prove why you need pops on a machine. Yeah.
You know, imagine if that was a big rock.
Yeah.
You know,
concrete.
This is a piece of concrete jumped up there and hit. Oh, yeah. You know, I've seen people with the quick couplers, on a 270, where they didn't have the bucket latch. They took it up and started.
Oh yeah,
and the bucket fell on the cab.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I've heard of that.
That would have been serious.
Oh yeah.
but they had a cab guard.
And trees, limbs, widowmakers.
Oh, we know. After an ice storm, you've got those little trees that fall out, and the tops come out and get you. You know, I think they're just sitting up there waiting to jump out.
I think so too.
But let's climb up in here.
Okay.
All right. So that opens up.
So you can clean it.
Yeah. So later on today, after now that I've seen that we have mud, you know, on the top of this machine, later on today we will open that up, but it makes it so it's easier to clean.
Sure.
So in the old days, that was rigid bolted.
Right.
To the ROPS, and that is a certified FOPS. Yeah. Okay.
It works, but it's just a lot harder to clean.
Yes. And so we call that the company wrench guard.
Okay.
Because company wrench said, hey, in demo applications that gets covered in dust.
Oh yeah.
You're having to run misters.
Yeah.
And so now that makes the dust stick to it, right? And so you need to be able to get up there and clean, and trying to clean in those little squares. Not fun. Not fun. Okay. And so the engineers, being as great as they are, put a set of hinges and a prop, so it's got a leg, so it'll open up. Some of them will have a leg to brace it up, and some of them have shocks that hold it. Just depends on the model. Okay. Okay. So, but that's handy right there, buddy. Yeah. So I mean, it's got that, makes it a great feature. So you can get up there and to clean that. And really, in the old days, I've heard some of our competitors refer to that. Theirs opens up, and they refer to that as the escape hatch. Okay. It was never designed to be an escape hatch. It's so that you can see overhead obstacles. Right. You know, there's power lines. You know, everywhere. There's overhead obstacles. If you're going into a building, now you've got a sunshade. But if I'm going into a building or I'm going into application, now I can sit here and I can see above me. You know what we're going into. That sunshade's nice because some of them don't have that. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, no, they don't. That's right. They don't. And these little cabs can become greenhouses real quick. Yes, they are, because there's a lot of glass. Yeah, a lot of glass. A lot of glass. So, but yeah, so you've got you've got that. So that is designed as an observation. It's a window so that you can see overhead obstructions. It's not designed to be an escape. It's not an escape. So you have a little hammer back here. Yep. So that you can bust any of the glass if you can't get out the entry door or the front glass. Right. Okay. Yep. So that's where your escape is. Gotcha. A little useless information. Hey, we love useless information. There you go. All right. Somebody might need that information one day. Need that information. Yeah. You just saved somebody's life, Michael. There was a United video somebody posted the other day of one that slipped off a barge. Oh yeah. He slipped off the barge on the cab side. Oh. You know, and so that operator had to get out of that, and he wasn't coming out the door, was he? Well, I don't know where he came out because it was underwater. You couldn't see any of it, you know. But we just know that he needed to be able to come out some kind of way. Yeah. And so that little hammer may have come into play, because I don't know if you could open the door, how much pressure until the pressure equalized. Yeah. So, anyways. Scary stuff. Scary stuff. It's a scary business sometimes. It is, man. So, it's a dangerous world out there. It's dangerous. So, so you've got the same DNA when you get in here. You get your set and forget AC, put it on auto. You got your Bluetooth capable radio. Okay. You've got your cell phone holder. There again, that is just with the cord cut out. Brilliant. Brilliant. You know, thinking of us. So you got your buttons all laid over here. You know, in the old days we would put buttons over here. Yeah. But we found out in North America, we like to leave our doors open, and rain gets in. We do. And what happens when electronics get wet? It's not pretty. Doesn't work out well. And so they moved everything over here onto the right-hand side. So that's, people ask why. Yeah. And that's because I didn't know that until now, but I have accidentally left some doors open. Yeah. People leave doors open, it gets wet, then your switches start failing. So so we got that. Okay. You know, we've got all of these for our lawyers. Yep. Gotta have that stuff. All right. And so this one's saying that it's set up in backhoe loader, or BHL. Yep. All right. So we need to flip that so that it is, because it's in ISO. That's what I need. There you go. You leave that thing in backhoe and y'all think I've been drinking on the job, because I just cannot. My brain can't. I can't retrain myself. And I am so set in my ways. I can get on a backhoe. Yeah. I run a backhoe style. Yeah. Do you? But I get on a track hoe, and it messes my mind out. That's when you know that you're old and set in your ways. Okay, I get on here. It's got to be set in excavator style. When I get on a backhoe, it's got to be in backhoe style. Backhoe style. So interesting. It's interesting. So, but there, I mean, it's got the same basic cab as the others. All the ergonomics are in here. The adjustable armrest, the fully adjustable seat. This seat's been slid forward. Right.
Making it comfortable for the operator.
Well, yeah, you know why?
It's key.
Because I was running it yesterday.
Yeah.
So it was set up in short man mode. So
we'll leave it in there for when it's my turn to run it.
Okay. Well, you can set it up because I mean, there's do the air ride and set all that and stuff. So
gotcha.
set it to you, but
and we may have to look it up on your app. But what about horsepower on this one?
I believe we're gonna look it up on the app, but we're going 263. I believe.
All right.
Let me verify.
Let's see if we got a winner.
Oh, 265.
Okay, I'll give it to you. That's close enough.
We played horseshoes last night. I
close
failed
enough.
To get close, but I got close on that.
You got close enough.
Unlike you beat me mercifully last night in the horseshoes. So
we had fun, man. That was a blast.
All right, so
nice machine, man.
265. This one is running the Isuzu horse engine on it. The all Kobelco products. From our 17 up through the 520 are running the 4-year warranty on it. It's a 4-year, 4,000-hour warranty. And the great thing that we do, we pay the service truck to come out to you. A lot of our competitors don't pay travel time.
Okay.
But you're not going to haul this machine in to get service work.
No.
It's a pain in the butt to haul. This is not a mini excavator.
That's that's a value right there.
So we pay if our machine fails, we pay the service truck to run out there to work on it.
Impressive.
For 4 years and 4,000 hours, or that's extendable.
Yeah.
So
gotta love warranty, man.
Gotta love it. It's the thing of the thing. Yeah. New machines typically don't have to use it, but it's good to know that it's that little bit of insurance.
Nice to have it.
That is.
It is nice to have it for those times where you need it.
Yep. So we talked about earlier on the 520 that there's different machines have different options. So if you'll notice out there on the dog bone, you can see it's got the dog bone. The H-Link and stuff has got a different controller. We've got some sensors on our stick pin up there. That's because this machine is new and it's got the K-load on it.
Okay.
So it's the onboard scales.
Oh, nice.
And so we've got the 350 set up, and we're going to play with K-load and on it in a little bit. But this machine also has K-load on it, so it's depending on the serial number break. The K-load is the standard option on a larger machine.
Anytime scales come standard on any equipment for us, that's huge. Just because everything we sell is by the ton. So.
And it's it's not illegal scales.
Right.
We're not certified in anything on that.
Right.
But as long as you take the time and set the scales and do the measurements and stuff, which is extremely simple, we'll show you on that one. It's a very simple process to set it.
I tell you where that's real handy, Michael. We had some jobs in a remote mine where we had to take a couple trucks every so often, drive them to the scales and weigh them, and then we just had to guesstimate. All right, we'll put 8 buckets on this truck, and every truck. Well, either me or the customer is losing out a little bit along the way.
That's right.
So when you can accurately put a weight on a truck, that's huge, because we could have lost money on that job and never even known it.
Right. So and so we do we make a big deal and say that it's not certified scales and all that, but it is within that 3 to 5% generally. And we've got some people that are loading out and that are using it as a scale.
I certainly would. Yes, so. It's close enough. I mean, then you're not guessing and wondering, hey, how much money did I lose on this job?
That's right.
Awesome, man. Great machine here, buddy.
So just some more of the standard features, that are built in. If we stood the machine up on our end, you can see that she's got the standard swivel guards on it. Yeah. You'll see there's a lot of guards and stuff that are just standard on Kobelco that are options on everybody else. We can all do it. Yeah. Everybody can put swing flashers on. Yeah. Ours are standard.
Standard. Go ahead and do it.
So there again, you saw we talked about in the 520. You got single pedal travel in this unit right here. So if you are using it in a pipeliner location, or when I was cleaning up farms. You'd never park the machine down there next to the river unless you had a pile high enough, because you never knew when Mother Nature was going to come in and give you a flood.
Right.
So you always had to crawl the machine out. And so, hey, this is way simpler to crawl the machine out.
Absolutely.
With
one pedal,
and do that, and get
try to balance the tracks,
And so you just there's a lot of applications. I refer to it as the pipeliner, straight travel, but it's those of us that had to walk all the way across the farm. Oh yeah. It'd be great for that.
It certainly would. So. Well, thank you, Mr. Michael. I appreciate you, man. Kobelco's done a good job once again.
Well, thank you for coming out. We enjoyed being able to host you.
Appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
Now it's time to go play on some machines, guys. So I hope you'll check out the next video, and do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe on this one. We appreciate you very much. Thanks to Kobelco for having us down here. Let's go get dirty.